you come into Bombay and there is this new world that almost is starting off, right? There is a change that's also happening. There is an indie scene sort of coming up around that time, which is very different from the art house scene that used to exist in the 80s. So this is going more and more towards mainstream. Is that what happened? Then you met Zoya on the sets of Bombay Boys? Would that be correct?
on the sets of Bombay Boys,
That's how you first met.
Yeah.
I mean, she has a memory of you both in the casting process. You both filling
I
in.
was already working as an AD, and Zoya came in, I don't know, I think to get an AD job, but Kaizad decided to audition her.
me. I wanted to be I was an assistant director, and he was like, no, you have to do an audition, you have to do. I was like, I can't act. No, you have to audition. So he gave me some lines, and I sat in a chair, and Reema read the lines.
No,
with
and
me.
it
That's
was
how
a
we met.
scene that he was testing her for Tara Deshpande's
Right.
part. So I read for Rahul Bose's character, and she was reading for Tara's character. And immediately after it ended, she told me I'm like the worst actor on earth. And I was like, Zo, I don't think you're getting the job either.
Yeah.
But then she got
The job I wanted.
the job she wanted. Yeah.
And that wasn't your first job, though.
No, I'd worked on Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra was the first one I worked on with Meera.
Right.
And
This is after you came back from New York?
no, I finished that. I went to New York.
Ah.
I finished Kama Sutra, went to New York, came back, and then I worked on Split Wide Open and Bombay Boys. Bombay Boys first and then Split Wide Open, something like that.
No, Split Wide Open first.
Split Wide Open first and then Bombay Boys.
And what about you?
I had worked with Rajat Kapoor on his first film, which was called Private Detective.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And it was pretty much, with Rajat, he was like my film school. I got to work with every department, and really it kind of gave me a very strong base in filmmaking.
And then thereafter was
And
Bombay
then
Boys?
I worked on Bombay Boys.
And then you became what is called a professional AD.
Yeah.
Would that be correct to say?
Yeah. And we were quite like, there was no, at that time, what used to happen was the AD was always affiliated with the director or with like an advertising production house. And I mean, we were both graduates. I had just come back from, studying, doing a diploma at NYU. I had worked with 2 or 3 directors that were like different films because the international films come in and they go. So you're always in a freelance mode. And we just decided like we can't work with one person because everybody who saw that just worked with one person became like that person.
Right.
Like there was a creative chap that happened. So we at that time, I don't know how we had the guts to take this call that we didn't take a job.
Also because
we just said we'll work with whoever hires us, and otherwise we'll just keep writing and doing things. And we just started getting work.
And it's also always an amalgamation of things. That was the time where I think people in India started shooting sync sound. They started shooting one schedule films. So they needed professional ADs. Earlier, if there would be 12 assistants on set and they're all doing everything. But here, there were very structured jobs. There was a first, there was a second. It was very, very, you're kind of a liaise between production and the technical crew and the director. So all of it happened at the same time. And I think that kind of gave rise to a new breed of freelance ADs.
And
also, that's what we were.
We trained on a lot of international films. So you just had
Like
to
which
work.
ones?
Kama Sutra was one of them.
Yeah.
Then I worked on a film in New York called Side Streets. Then when we came back, even Bombay Boys was produced by Deepak Nair. So it had...
He was like a massive producer back then in the US.
So it was structured very differently, So then the system of production and assistance was very different. And once we started working like that, we knew that we don't want to work on films that are not going to shoot sync sound. Because that's where it's heading. And we didn't want to work on movies that went on for 5 years and you're just hanging in the office. So we were like, let's just do films that are like
tight schedule,
sync sound, and we were doing commercials in the middle, and we were getting hired as freelancers. It was perfect. So we worked with so many different people, and that was such a good experience because you learn what to do, you learn what not to do. You can compare different directors. It was much better than just being in one space.
And so you guys were essentially production people then, which is very different from what you ended up doing. I'm presuming filmmaking was always the ambition, right? That's the case with most ADs.
Always.
Writing and directing.
But actually film right?
Yeah.
That was always the case.
Yeah, writing and directing was always the ultimate goal. And I think that's why we bonded, because that was our common goal.
And you both had a script with you when you both met?
No,
we didn't. We started, we tried to write a short film and almost killed each other in the process because we were fighting, because I was like, I'm going to do this, and she was like, no, I'm going to do that.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.